Western Spring Television. Ours it is. Good morning and welcome to the show Sports Spring on Western Spring Television, where we give you stories making headlines in the ever-busy world of sport. It's a Monday morning and we're set to give you all the rundown of how it went down over the weekend. A disappointing outing it was for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 2 points from a possible 6 put them in a very tight corner ahead of the race. I'm talking about the World Cup qualifiers. My name is Joseph ATEWE, saying welcome once again. And there'll be no difference from what we've been doing on the show, as we'll be starting from the locals. And of course, travel to Lagos, Victoria Island to be precise. I will be speaking to SEUN AJIDAGBA this morning. Before we connect to SEUN AJIDAGBA, I believe we should have him very soon on the line. We'll look at some of the results from matches played in March Day 9 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Big win for Rivers United. They had to bounce back. Sporting Lagos, their struggle continues. Let's move to Lagos and speak to SEUN AJIDAGBA joins us live. Good morning, SEUN, and welcome to the show.
I'm struggling to say good morning, Joseph ATEWE. My people in the state, and good morning to all our wonderful viewers of Western Spring Television.
Well, they're fine. I'm trying to hear you, SEUN. If I can get you, if you can speak a little bit louder, please. Trying to get you here.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can now. Good morning, SEUN.
Yeah, good morning, Joseph. I'm struggling to say good morning, despite all the things that are happening over the weekend, but we're still a wonderful morning, and to our wonderful viewers and lovely people of the state, I say good morning, everyone, and the lovers of Western Spring Television.
So let's hit the nail on the head, and that starts quickly. Let's talk about the national team. A disappointing outing again yesterday against Zimbabwe. 2 points from a possible 6. Your thoughts about the game we watched yesterday?
Nigeria versus Zimbabwe in Rwanda. We cannot beat the Warriors of Zimbabwe. Is there any group you want FIFA to play with other than that very easy group that had Nigeria, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Benin Republic, Rwanda, and South Africa? In my consciousness, I thought the only team that will give us a bit of problem in South Africa. Every other one will go unscathed. And when I say South Africa giving us a problem, it means that of the possible 6 points, we should amass 4 points. Maybe beat them in Nigeria and go and play in South Africa. But how do you explain that you are in a very relatively easy group? Then your first 2 matches of year 2023 were against teams that you should be getting maximum points against and beating convincingly. You played against the Crocodiles of Lesotho. You drew. You even forced them to a draw. Then you now went to play Zimbabwe away from home. But both teams are playing on the neutral ground, and you still force them to a draw. A game that looked like they were going to beat us. And you heard the comments of the 2 coaches, the coach of Lesotho and the coach of Zimbabwe, all having similar statements that they should have won that game against teams that are 100 places below Nigeria. Honestly, it's a shame. Shame on all the players, shame on the coach, shame on the administrators. And you heard the comment of the coach. The traveling made them not to give their best. And I want to liken what happened yesterday to an European team that is either playing in the Conference League or playing in the Europa League, because those are the competitions that they play on Thursday. And then they now go and play their respective league matches on Sunday. And you still see them turn out impressive performance. And the coach is telling us that the reason they didn't do well was because of the traveling arrangement. And you ask yourself, did they travel by road to Rwanda with all those bunch of players. You cannot beat Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe were better coordinated and looked more like they were going to beat Nigeria. And look at all the time, every goal we concede via the set piece. The question is, what is the coach teaching them in training? For somebody earning $70,000 per month, what is he teaching them? I tell you what, the smallest community in Northern State, Pesero should not be coaching them, let alone coaching the Super Eagles. But it is what it is.
And so let's talk about that goal, because I mean, it's something a lot of football fans have been talking about. That's the goal considered by Francis Ozor. That was a terrible show from Francis Ozor. He should be catching that.
I told you over and over again, for the coach to even have that unguarded comment prior to our game against Lesotho, you have 3 goalkeepers in camp. Amaso Basoge, Francis Ozor, and Ojo Olonleke. And journalists wanted to ask you a question, and all you could tell them is that your number 1 is Francis Ozor, despite dropping standards every day, every time, in every match. Guess what, Joseph? Francis Ozor has more caps for the national team than what he has for Omonia and Nicosia. The club is playing for his title. But can you blame him when the coach continues to field him and you cannot change him? Ozor has conceded 34 goals in 35 matches. How do you explain that? No child will miss 34 questions out of 35, and the parents will be rubbing their hands on the bed that he has done well. Give us a competition. It's a national team. And you have other goalkeepers there, and they cannot compete against Ozor, who keeps dropping standards, game in, game out. And then I ask a simple question. On what rationale, on what premise did you give Pesero an extended contract? With what you have seen that he did, he shouldn't be getting an extended contract. But when you have bunch of clueless, idealist, lack of competence officials, this is what you are going to get. And I hit this blame on first, the immediate past NFF president, Amadi Melvin Pinnick. I owe him no apology. All talk, no action. It's not just in this mess. Now, I put it to him, Pinnick, was there any screening process that brought Ose Pesero on board? It was more like they just handpicked Ose Pesero. Not like they said, Poti should submit their CVs. And you look at Pesero's track record, that's the person you employ. Now Guzo came in, you had an opportunity to do away with Pesero. You gave Ose Pesero an extended contract. Let's talk about the players. Overhyped foreign-based players. Lack of commitment, lack of passion, lack of dedication. You all have players coming in either first class or business class, giving all the environment for them to do well, and you cannot beat Lesotho. You cannot beat Zimbabwe. Look at the coach.
Okay. Just before we go to the coach again, I really understand and feel the pain right now that our sport lovers who understands what this competition is all about is going through at the moment. And I see the South Africans taking advantage of this because they won their first game and they will be playing today. They will be taking advantage of that. And how much of a damage is that to Nigeria's hope?
Our World Cup is over before it got started. South Africa beat Benin Republic 2-1. And all other things being equal, tomorrow they are taking on Rwanda. They will do all within their power to beat Rwanda. And once they beat Rwanda, it means they will be 4 points ahead of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. As early as the second match, they are already 4 points ahead of Nigeria. So that means that next year, for you to surpass South Africa, you need to win all your games and beat South Africa home and away. It becomes more difficult. So for me here, except a miracle happens, I want to use the word, we are supposed in love. The Mexico, USA, and Canada dream is gone before it started.
All right, but Sean, let's look at it very well. The first qualifies automatically, and there are 2 playoff spots. So it means that for you to save yourself the unnecessary drama of going through the playoff rounds, they say top the group and qualify automatically. So for a team like Nigeria, no matter what, you still believe that, well, it's still early, that even if they don't make that top spot, they might also clinch the playoff spot.
I've said it and I'm repeating myself. If you cannot beat Lesotho, you cannot beat Zimbabwe. Now, the way they set up this thing for us, they set it up very nicely. Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Benin. Then you now talk about playing South Africa. Those are games you should be winning. And so if you cannot beat Lesotho, you cannot beat Zimbabwe, who show to be better and coordinated players than the Super Eagles of Nigeria, then who can you beat? Maybe you can beat the traffic light.
All right, Sean, of course, we understand. We wish the Super Eagles all the best. But then the guys, of course, have departed the country that we understand, and we know how painful this is. And Sean, finally on the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we'll be going to the African Cup of Nations. We have no time. We can't change the coach at this point. We have to do with these players. If we are to get to, say, the semifinals of the African Cup of Nations, what do you think should be done?
What is semi-final? They say you are as good as the last game. If you cannot beat Lesotho, you cannot beat Zimbabwe. Is it Guinea-Bissau that you want to beat? Or you want to beat Ivory Coast? You know, so this does not give room for any confidence. And look at the caliber of players that we have and how our coach has sentimentally selected his team. Joe Aribo cannot get game time in starting. He's starting and playing 9 minutes. Where you have players like from Dele Basile, you have other players there. Francis Zor does not exude any confidence. You know, so there are quite a lot of things you can talk about. Look at our midfield. So every time a serious manager, they are inviting 4 midfielders. And you know the fulcrum of any team is the midfield. Then you now bring in lots of strikers. What would those strikers do when the supply is not there? Our defense also is suspect. Every set piece, your heart is in your mouth. So it looks more like impossible. You know, so going into AFCON, I told you about all the talk of Babafemi Raji and what the Spikes are trying to achieve. Let's do it again. What are you doing again with this bunch of players? And I've said this, each time people tell me about my home-based players not qualifying for CHAN, not qualifying for group stage of CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup, I always tell them apples and oranges. These foreign-based players have everything they need to succeed. But when you talk about CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup, look at AJIDAGBA. They won the Super Six. They let 20 players go and brought in 18 players. Where would the cohesion come from? The same thing with CHAN. The best players in the league, immediately the league ends or it gets into half of the season, you see them going overseas for greener pastures, going to countries like Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, looking for greener pastures. So it means that the best players don't get to stay to play that competition because they are in a hurry to travel overseas. You know, so we cannot win AFCON. Let's consider ourselves.
Okay. But Sean, we know that what's the right now? Alex Iwobi has officially apologized to Nigerians. He did that on his verified Twitter handle. Because of time, Sean, let's move out and not, I really waste the time talking about some set of players that I believe are very unserious. That is me echoing your words, dear. So, Sean, quickly, let's move to the Nigeria Premier Football League and look at match day 9 of the NPFL. You saw what happened in Lagos. The coach of Sporting Lagos was furious. I mean, playing out a 1-0 draw with Hardland. It says there were so many troubles in that game in terms of officiating and more.
I never saw that coming. The only team that is yet to get a result in the Nigerian Premier Football League is Heartland Football Club. And to think that Sporting Lagos, a team that has done well at home, the only game they drew was against Doma. I have to give credit to Doma. I never saw this coming. That Sporting Lagos will be sporting a team like Heartland Football Club last on the log to a draw. It's a 3-point loss for them.
And looking at all the results, Doma United 1, Plateau United 0, Gombe United 1, Niger Tornadoes 0, Enugu Rangers and Katsina United played out a 2-2 draw. Aqua United and Vermont Stars 3-2 in favor of Aqua United. Rivers United peeped Abia Warriors 2-1. Bendel Insurance and Aqua United played out a 2-2 draw. Bayelsa United and Sunshine Stars 1-1. Eyimba defeated Lobby Stars 1-0, while Shooting Stars defeated Kano Pillars 1-0. Let's talk about Eyimba. They needed a response and they got that over the weekend.
Credit must go to first Aqua United. They needed the TV to be turned for them to be doing very well. At some point in time, I thought Patai Osho was going to be told to go from his position as the manager of Aqua United based on the result they are showing out. But again, they fought back and got the result against Remo Stars. You have to credit Chico Alimi also, who is showing the leadership that he's got. Eyimba also, defeating Lobby Stars, good result for them after that atrocious result they've been turning out. And I think it's very good. Shooting Stars, the Oracle himself, I must commend him also, getting a result, fantastic. And Enugu Rangers, I never saw that coming. That Rangers at home, not necessarily that they can see that, will not get a result. But I have to say, credit must go to Sunshine Street Stars and the other guys in the squad. And Katsina United going to go and draw Enugu Rangers, fantastic. And I think the league is shaping up nicely. And I feel that any moment will definitely be separated from the start. Rivers United also got a huge result against Abia Warriors. And I think it's good for them because they are our only representatives of the continent and they need to start churning out good results if they hope to do anything nice on the continent.
All right, Sean, quickly because of time, let's move back to the national team from one disappointment to something good. Let's talk about the Falconets. They got the needed results and we understand they are true. Unless they did put smile on the faces of Nigerians over the weekend. We expected them to win and they did the job.
Labored victory, but we'll take it. And if they got into the final round of the qualifiers and their next opponent, I think, is Burundi. They should be getting that and qualifying for the World Cup. Because the last team that went to the World Cup, they got into the quarterfinal before they were defeated by Netherlands. So I hope they can get their act together in their final qualifier and, of course, get the ticket to the World Cup.
All right, so just before we let you go, you know how we do it all the time. We like to chip in one foreign story for you to analyze. And the one I'm picking on the cards here will be Andre Onana. He got injured while playing for Cameroon. So the bad side is that Andre Onana might be out for weeks, if not months. How much of a blow is that for Manchester United?
I've not been convinced about Onana, but it's more worrying for Manchester United. And that was why I was asking, why did you allow David De Gea to go? David De Gea, up until now, is yet to get the club. They were talking about him coming back to Manchester United, knowing that Onana was going to go for the AFCON competitions in January and they were missing some certain games. That's a big problem for a team that is not even doing well. So let's see how it goes. But he has conceded a lot of goals. But surprisingly, he has the second clean sheet in the Premier League behind Sam Johnson. But he has 5. Sam Johnson has 5. Onana has 4. But it's more worry for Manchester United that injuries here and there.
I'm talking about injuries. So I'm talking about Manchester United. It only adds to the list because we know that what it means with Andre Onana's inclusion, we have more than 9 key players out, including Marcus Rashford. This is huge for negatively huge rather for Erik ten Hag, and how we cope at Manchester United still remains a mystery, considering how powerful and how competitive that league is.
It's a big problem for the manager. Some other clubs too are experiencing this happening of the international break. Remember, before they went to international break, against Luton Town, Rasmus Højlund, Christian Eriksen had suffered injuries.
There's also Casemiro,
before their game against Everton this coming weekend, it's a problem. And for Real Madrid, not the kind of news they also want, because players like Edward Camavinga, Vinicius Junior, even for Barcelona and Gavi, it looks like the season is over after that victory against Georgia, in the Real Valladolid Stadium. So this is what comes with the international. The coach has enough in his arsenal to get a result this coming weekend.
We'll wait and say it all pans out. SEUN AJIDAGBA, I must say thank you for your time. And thanks for always, responding to our calls whenever we put them through. I truly appreciate. And of course, my regards to our friends like Omar Katugba and the likes of Godwin Naga, who are all out of the country. I think it is Omar that is out of the country. Godwin should be somewhere in Lagos. But my regards to everyone.
Thank you very much, Joseph. And of course, our wonderful viewers of Western Spring Television. I say this week shall be a fantastic week for us. And the production team also. God bless you all, guys. Europe.
All right, thank you very much, SEUN AJIDAGBA. That was SEUN AJIDAGBA who joined us live from Lagos. He is a former assistant coach to the Nigeria Cricket Federation and also an ex-international when it comes to cricket and a 5-time CAF accredited journalist. Thank you once again, SEUN. All right, that's it on the first part of the show. We need to go on the break and give you some of the highlights I played at the Euro qualifiers. When we come back, Gavi is out, Andre Onana is out, and 6 other players who are key players in the Premier League all suffered injury during the international break. We'll be back.